Auto insurance can all seem the same until it comes time to use it. So don't get stuck paying more for less coverage. Switch to USAA Auto Insurance and you could start saving money in no time. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply.
Hi, and welcome to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. My name is Bill Moore. I'm the founder of the Food Truck Training Group on Facebook, co-owner with my beautiful wife, Melissa, of our own food truck. It's called Food Truck 101, and I'm the executive director of the National Street Food Vendors Association, which is a nonprofit dedicated to education, advocacy, and uplifting all food vendors. Today, we're going to be talking about a scam. So I want you to think about this. Imagine you pay your vendor fee, you prepare all your products, you're super excited about going to this event, you drive there and see a vacant lot. Nobody's there. And then you realize, uh-oh, I have been scammed. So we're going to talk about how to avoid being scammed today. Before we get into that, I want to remind you guys I'm going to be in Las Vegas, Nevada this year on July 15th and 16th. I'm going to be part of the Food Truck Owners Expo. At the Food Truck Owners Expo, I'm going to be giving 2 classes. I'm going to be participating in the campfire sessions where you can learn even more stuff. And of course, I'm going to be a part of the NSFVA, the National Street Food Vendors Association booth, where you guys can come and talk to me and find out all about the association and even ask me more questions. If you would like to attend the Food Truck Owners Expo, again, that's July 15th and 16th. Go to FTOexpo.com, place your order for those tickets today, and when you do, put in the code FTTG15 for a 15% discount. Now, how do we avoid a scam? There are many, many scams out there, so let's talk about the most common ones. So there's really 3 main types of event scams. And they target food vendors because a lot of food vendors are so excited about being offered something that they don't really check into it other than read the email and go, yeah, that sounds awesome. Here's my money. So the first type of scam event is technically they clone an event. So it's a real event and they have pulled the marketing information from it, but they've changed the dates on it. And obviously they have maybe changed the address, maybe not. So from the standpoint of just looking at it, it looks pretty legitimate because it may have the exact same logo and same information as the year before. And you go, well, that was an awesome event. I'm going to attend it. And then you go to sign up for it. That's one type of scam. The second type of scam is just totally fake. They just create an event, maybe even create a Facebook page. And the next thing you know, there's maybe a website even, and they're collecting fees. For the low price of, you can be a part of our event. And then you have the ones that kind of intercept information. So they claim to represent a real event and they'll give you that information and you can go look it up, but you have to deal with them as opposed to dealing directly with the website or the Facebook information about the real event. So they are intercepting information. They're standing between you and the real event. And of course, they're a scammer. So that's the 3 different ways. So how do you protect yourself? What should you be looking for when you come across either on Facebook or some other social media, or you get an email or a text about, hey, we'd love you to be a part of this particular event. What should you do? Look for an official website. If it's an event, they probably are going to have a website. At the very least, just like you, they're going to have a Facebook page. Now that Facebook page should not be a new page. It should have a pretty decent amount of followers, because if it doesn't have a decent amount of followers, you can rest assured that while it may be a legitimate event, it's not going to be worth your time. But certainly a scam event is not going to have a lot of followers. Here's a biggie, and this is something you've got to get used to. You might even have one of these, and I'm going to recommend that you get rid of it. The contact email ends with Gmail or Yahoo or one of the other free email services. Why is that a problem? If they're not willing to spend the little teeny tiny bit of money to buy a website domain and then attach that to an email, well, they're not investing in their own business. So why should you invest by showing up? And you might have an email that ends with Gmail or Yahoo. Get yourself a domain and then tie it to an email service like Google. Now, when you tie it to Google, you'll get all the same stuff that you get with a Google Gmail account. But when someone clicks on it and uses it, it will be your name, not some screen name, not some funky wild child at yahoo.com. It'll be business, it'll be professional, and it will end in whatever the name of your business is that you bought the domain for. We use foodtrucktraining.group. It costs us $12 a month. It is a way to show you're a legitimate business. A scammer's not going to spend the money to do that because they're going to go away in a few days anyway. Another red flag to be looking for is they pressure you to send the money quickly. They say things like, there's only 3 spots left. If you don't apply now and pay up, you're not going to get in. If it's that awesome of a event, why are they sending you emails? Why are they sending you texts saying, hey, would you like to be a part of this? If they're really just down to 3, they've got plenty of people wanting to participate. They don't need to actively prospect for food vendors. Next red flag, the payment requested is through a P2P, which is person-to-person payment system, which would be Cash App or Venmo or Zelle. Why do they use those? Because in the terms and the conditions of all of those, they say do not send money to people you don't know. And the scammer is counting on you being stupid and sending money to somebody you don't know. Now, why is that a big deal? Because you cannot recover the money. Once it goes through the Cash App or Venmo or Zelle system, it's gone. There is no way to reverse that charge. Another red flag is there's no contract, or the contract looks vague and poorly written. A real event, no matter how tiny, has to protect themselves from liability. So they're going to have a contract that spells out what you can and can't do. If they don't have a contract, number one, it's not going to be worth your time, even if it is a legitimate event. And certainly a scammer is not going to write out a contract just to make it look like they're legitimate. And if they do write one out, it's going to be poorly written. It's going to not have good use of the English language. They don't have a marketing plan. They don't have past event photos. They don't even have a vendor map to tell you where you're going to park, because all of those things cost time and money, and they're not going to try to create them. Now with AI, they can create photos that look pretty realistic, but if you really dive into the details, you'll see that it's not a legitimate event. It's not legitimate photographs. But you've got to protect yourself. Here's how you can verify an event. It's pretty easy. If the red flags that I just mentioned don't trigger your I'm not going to do this, and you're thinking, well, maybe I should do this, here's what else you need to look for. Search the event name on Google or some other search engine. Look for the official website. If it's a scam website, they will not have spent a lot of time creating something with detail, but look for the event name outside of their website. Contact the event organizer using any publicly listed phone number or email that you find independently. Trust me, and a real event is going to want to talk to you if they truly need food vendors. If they don't need food vendors, they'll tell you that on that phone call. They will not just say, hey, text only. I've got another job. I'm out of the country. All the usual nonsense that a scammer will say to encourage you to not phone call them. Call. But do it through an independent search of that particular event, to where you know that the number most likely is going to somebody that is in charge of the event. Ask to see a vendor contract, an event map, and of course the marketing plan. The marketing plan proves whatever reach they say they're going to have. We're going to have 10,000 people. We're only going to have 5 food trucks. Awesome. Now, how are you going to get 5,000, or how are you going to get the 10,000 attendees there? What's your marketing plan? What's your social media? What's the event contract? That many people means there's going to be some accidents. Who's responsible for what? How about trash pickup? How about bathrooms? What's going to entertain those 10,000 people? Where am I supposed to park? Where's the event map? Where's the location? Check the event on city or local tourism websites. If it's a real event, it's going to have permits. It's going to have insurance. They're going to spend some money, and they're not going to want to keep that light under a bushel. They're going to want the city to talk about them. They're going to want the tourism websites to talk about them. Reach out to the vendors who have done it in the past. You should have at least a familiarity with the local vendors in your area. Reach out to the ones you know and ask them, hey, have you ever heard of this? Have you ever done it? Even if you're brand spanking new and the event says we've been around the last 3 years, look on the other food trucks around your area. Look on their social media. See if they did it. Now, what should you do if you suspect a scam? First thing I want you to not do is be quiet about it. If something doesn't feel right, obviously don't pay, but then report the suspicious activity. Report it to the police, number one. Number two, put it on any local social media that you have that targets food vendors. Let them know that you suspect this is a scam event. And then also put it on our website, the NSFVA website, Right now, we're building a brand new website where we can have this kind of reporting. So in the future, when you listen to this, you'll be able to just go to our website and report it, nsfva.org. In the meantime, though, put it on our Facebook group, Food Truck Training, and we'll start to create that list of known scammers, known scam events, and start to help each other to avoid being scammed. Every day in a lot of the other Facebook groups, I will see somebody that will say, "This is a scammer. How do I know I got scammed?" And they'll post a whole bunch of information, but it's all after the fact. Once you've been scammed, the likelihood of the scammer continuing on that particular event is only going to be a couple of days at most, because they know they have to constantly refresh their scam attempts, so they'll change everything and then post it again, maybe in another city around the country, and they won't be back in your city for a while. So you can't be quiet about it. You got to let as many people know, both on the official side, let the police know, let the Chamber of Commerce know, let other organizations know, but then of course let us know nationally. We're in this all together to help build up the food truck community. Now, the best defense against any kind of scam is we have a strong vendor community. You got to help each other. We have to help each other. It's how we uplift the whole industry, is by being there for each other. One of the things that we're going to do at the NSFVA in this coming year is start to establish not only the list of these are scammers, but also the list of this is a legitimate event and a verified real event. Now, this will take time to build up that database. We want to vet events, no matter how big or how little. So we have to get all the food truck owners out there and food vendors out there on the same page. When somebody comes up to you and says, "Hey, we've got this great event we're going to be starting this year," your response should be, "Hey, go to the nsfva.org website, and they'll explain to you what food truck owners need to be successful at this event, and then also how to vet your event to know that you're not a scammer." Because together we can shut down scammers and we can make the future much safer for all food vendors. But it's got to start by us speaking with one voice. So the bottom line, after all of this talk, if something feels off, trust your gut. Verify before you pay. And remember, if you're going to pay, it needs to be in a way that you have some right to be able to reverse the charges. And that would be through a normal credit card processing system. Not Venmo, not Zelle, not Cash App, not anything else that's listed as a P2P, person to person. PayPal, for example, when you do the PayPal Me, even banks have this where you do person to person. And if you read the terms and conditions, it says, do not send money to people you don't know. And why is that? Because they will not reverse the charges. If you're a part of our Facebook group, I'm going to put a little checklist in our file section. If you're not a part of the Facebook group, you need to join. Make sure you answer the questions or you won't get in. But you can go to our file section and download the checklist, as well as all kinds of other stuff we got there to help you out. I want you to report any scams, any suspected scams. Talk about them on our Facebook group. And when we get the website activated at the nsfva.org, report them there. We're also going to set up a review of events. So a review system specifically for events. So can you imagine how much power we have to get rid of the scammers if we just get all of our food vending friends on the same page? Thank you guys so much for listening to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. If you're finding everything helpful that we do, please consider subscribing. If you love what we do, show some support. Every little bit does help keep us going. There's a link in the description to help make that happen. Until next time, you guys have a profitable day.